One day, people will look at you and feel something they cannot explain. It will not be because you talked louder. It will not be because you posted more quotes, made bigger promises, or told the world who you wanted to become. It will be because you became calm, exact, and relentless. Because you stopped performing your goals and started living them. And that is what shakes people. Listen closely. Dreams do not scare anybody. Plans do not scare anybody. Big talk does not scare anybody. The world has heard all of that before, and it has watched most of it disappear by sunrise. But a person who repeats the right action every single day becomes hard to ignore and even harder to stop. That is the moment everything changes. The version of you that keeps asking for one more excuse, one more delay, one more soft escape has to fade away in silence, or it will keep robbing your future in public. Stay with me, because this is where most people lose their power. They do not lose it in one giant mistake. They lose it in tiny surrender after tiny surrender, until weakness starts feeling normal and discipline starts feeling extreme. People are not afraid of your goals. They are afraid of the day you stop speaking and start stacking proof. They are afraid of the day your routine becomes stronger than your emotions. They are afraid of the day your mornings stop belonging to laziness, your attention stops belonging to distraction, and your life stops being available for nonsense. Because once you become consistent, you become dangerous to everything that used to control you, dangerous to delay, dangerous to comfort, dangerous to weak habits, dangerous to fake support, dangerous to the old identity that kept surviving only because you kept forgiving what should have been corrected. That is why the minute you become serious, some people start acting strange. They say you changed. They say you are too intense. They say you need to relax. They laugh at the routine, the early alarm, the quiet focus, the repeated effort, the standards you now protect. But hear the truth under their words. They are not upset because you are doing too much. They are uncomfortable because your discipline is exposing how little they are doing. A person who has settled into average will always feel pressure around someone who is building something stronger. Do not argue. Do not explain. Build. Let your actions speak in a language excuses cannot answer. If your discipline does not make lazy people uncomfortable, it is probably still too soft. If your focus does not disturb careless people, it is probably still too weak. If your standards do not bother people who live without standards, then your standards may still be too low. This is why motivation alone will never save you. Motivation is a visitor. It comes in with fire and leaves without warning. One night you feel unstoppable. The next morning you feel empty. One day you promise yourself a new life. The next day you slide back into the same easy habits, the same scrolling, the same delay, the same soft deal with yourself. That is how people stay trapped for years. They trust feelings more than rules, then wonder why their life has no shape. Discipline is different. Discipline does not ask how you feel. Discipline asks what you said you would do. It does not bow to mood. It bows to mission. The weak mind waits for the perfect energy. The trained mind moves even when energy is low. The weak mind waits for confidence. The trained mind earns confidence by acting before comfort arrives. Do not skip this next part, because it can change the way you see your whole life. Readiness is often born after the first hard step, not before it. Many people are not failing because they lack talent. They are failing because they keep waiting for a feeling that was never supposed to lead them. You say you are tired, but often you are not tired from work. You are tired from negotiation, tired from arguing with yourself every morning, tired from making a debate out of every useful action. Should I get up now? Should I train today? Should I study tonight? Should I finish this task? Should I stay focused? Should I keep going? Should I quit? That constant negotiation drains the spirit. It steals force from the mind. It turns simple actions into heavy battles. A disciplined person does not hold endless meetings with weakness. He gives commands. When the alarm rings, he rises. When the body complains, he moves with control. When the mind tries to escape, he returns to the job. When temptation whispers, he listens to the mission instead. That is why discipline feels so powerful. It creates a person who cannot be easily bought by comfort, and comfort is the hidden chain around many lives. Not because someone locked them in, but because the bed is warm, the screen is bright, the food is easy, the noise is endless, and the crowd keeps saying average is normal. Yes, average is common, but common is not freedom. Common is living below your promise and calling it balance. Common is having a dream with no structure around it. Common is wanting a better future while feeding the habits that destroy it. If you want a life that is not common, then you must become uncommon in your routine, uncommon in your standards, uncommon in the way you answer discomfort. Do not expect applause when you begin. In the beginning, discipline looks boring. It looks plain. It looks lonely. It looks repetitive. It looks foolish to people who only respect results after they become visible. They do not respect the quiet effort. They do not respect the private sacrifice. They do not respect the mornings you win before the world even wakes up. They do not respect the nights when you choose the mission over the easy pleasure sitting right in front of you. But real growth is almost always invisible at first. The body changes in silence. The mind sharpens in silence. Skill grows in silence. Character hardens in silence. Your future is shaped in silence long before anybody notices it in public. So stop needing witnesses for every step. Stop looking around to see who claps. Train in the dark. Work in the quiet. Build when nobody checks on you. Continue when nobody praises you. Continue when nobody understands you. Continue when nobody even knows what you are trying to become. Because if your discipline needs attention to survive, it is still immature. And if your effort only appears when somebody is watching, then your effort is still acting, not transforming. Stay with this. The strongest people are not addicted to hype. They are addicted to standards. They do not chase feeling. They protect structure. They do not need to be seen every day. They need to know they kept their word. Be honest now. Your life is not where it could be because your wishes are higher than your standards. You want strength, but your habits are soft. You want peace, but you keep feeding chaos. You want respect, but you break your own promises. You want success, but you sell your focus too cheaply. You want confidence, but every time you tell yourself you will do something and then you do not do it, something inside you starts trusting you less. That matters more than people think. Self-respect is not built by saying nice things to yourself while living in disorder. Self-respect is built when you keep your word after the excitement is gone. When you say you will wake early and you do it. When you say you will stop wasting hours and you actually stop. When you say you will train, study, build, pray, work, or rest with purpose, and then you follow through. That is how your spirit learns to trust your voice. This is why discipline is deeper than productivity. It is not just about results. It is about becoming someone your own soul can rely on. Ask yourself quietly, can your inner self trust you? Do not answer fast. Look at your mornings. Look at your nights. Look at what you do when nobody is there to reward you or punish you. That is the real version of you, not the image, not the speeches, not the version shown to strangers. The real version is the one that appears when there is no audience. If that person is weak, stop decorating weakness with pretty language. Strengthen it with action. Many people want the identity of a warrior while keeping the lifestyle of a distracted child. They want the rewards of discipline without the pain of restraint. They want respect without repetition. They want mastery without boredom. They want growth without pressure. It does not work that way. Life does not reward intention alone. Life rewards execution. A seed does not become a tree because it dreams about height. It becomes a tree because it stays rooted in darkness, pushes through pressure, and keeps growing day after day without applause. Be like that. Root yourself so deeply in discipline that the weather of your emotions no longer chooses your direction. If you feel motivated, work. If you feel tired, work with care. If you feel uncertain, work with faith. If you feel ignored, work without needing attention. If you feel criticized, let the work answer for you. Too many people speak because speaking feels safer than becoming. They explain their goals, explain their struggles, explain why the time is not right, explain why they have not started, explain why life is unfair, explain why they need one more chance. They talk until words become a replacement for movement. Stop announcing, start becoming. Watch what changes when your life becomes quieter on the outside and stronger on the inside. You stop asking weak people for advice about strength. You stop sharing every dream with people who only understand entertainment. You stop asking for support from people secretly comforted by your weakness. You begin to move differently, eat differently, rest differently, spend differently, think differently, and protect your time like it is sacred. And yes, that new way of living will offend some people. Let it. Growth always disturbs old arrangements. When you become disciplined, you become unavailable for foolishness. You stop laughing at the same distractions. You stop repeating the same empty conversations. You stop wasting hours proving yourself to people who are still committed to staying the same. Your absence becomes noticeable. First they mock you, then they question you, then they quietly watch you, then one day they ask how you changed. But by then, you are no longer the same person they laughed at. That is the silent power of discipline. Not revenge, not anger, not a loud speech, just consistency so real that other people's doubt starts looking weak next to your proof. Do not chase revenge. It keeps you tied to people who misjudged you. Discipline cuts that rope. Revenge says, I want them to feel pain. Discipline says, I want to rise so high that their opinion loses all weight. Revenge burns wild and loud. Discipline burns inward and becomes light. Choose discipline, but understand what it truly is. Discipline is not punishment, it is protection. It protects your future from your impulses. It protects your peace from emotional storms. It protects your purpose from laziness. It protects your body from cravings that promise pleasure and deliver weakness. It protects your mind from the poison of endless noise. That is real self-care. Real self-love is not always soft. Sometimes it is the firm voice that says, get up now. Stop lying to yourself. Stop delaying. Stop feeding what is making you smaller. Inside you, there are two forces. One wants comfort now. One wants freedom later. One wants to sleep longer. One wants to become stronger. One wants approval. One wants self-respect. One wants cheap pleasure. One wants deep peace. One wants escape. One knows the doorway to growth often looks like pain at first. Every choice feeds one of them. That is why small choices are never truly small. The extra hour wasted matters. The skipped workout matters. The broken promise matters. The mindless scroll matters. The repeated unhealthy pattern matters. These are not tiny events with no meaning. They are votes. Every action is a vote for the person you are becoming. So who are you voting for? No one wakes up weak by accident. Weakness is trained through repetition, the same way strength is trained through repetition. Delay again and again, and delay becomes identity. Complain again, and complaint becomes character. Choose comfort again, and comfort becomes a cage. But the opposite is also true. Rise once when you do not feel like rising. Finish one task when your mind wants escape. Say no once when temptation smiles at you. Stay focused once when distraction feels easy. Keep one promise even when nobody would ever know if you broke it. Then do it again and again and again. This is the part people underestimate. Repeated private obedience creates public power. Suddenly you start believing your own word. And when your own word becomes enough, everything begins to change. Because a person who can command himself is hard to defeat. Most people are not defeated by the world. They are defeated by their inability to direct themselves. They know what to do, yet they do not do it. They know what to stop, yet they return to it. They know the road, yet they keep choosing the easier one. Knowledge alone is not power. Applied knowledge is power. If knowledge were enough, everyone would be transformed. Everyone already knows they should protect their time, train the body, sharpen the mind, speak with more care, spend with more purpose, and stop feeding distraction. But knowing without action is just decoration for the ego. It makes a person feel wise while remaining unchanged. Do not decorate weakness with information. Live the truth you already understand. And as you become more disciplined, become more selective too. You cannot carry every person, every habit, every conversation, and every environment into your new life. Some people are not evil. They are just heavy. Their thinking is heavy. Their habits are heavy. Their excuses are heavy. Their love for wasting time is heavy. Their comfort with drift is heavy. If you sit all day with people who worship distraction, do not be shocked when your own focus starts dying. Environment feeds the mind the same way food feeds the body. What you watch feeds you. What you listen to feeds you. The rooms you stay in feed you. The conversations you allow feed you. If your mind is fed with noise all day, do not expect clarity at night. Guard your inputs. A disciplined person does not only control what he does, he also controls what gets access to him. That is why he becomes harder to reach. Not proud, not cold, just clear. He does not give every invitation his presence. He does not give every emotion his attention. He does not give every desire control of his body. He does not give every thought a room to live in. He does not let every opinion rent space in his mind. This is discipline too. It is the power to choose what serves the mission and reject what only serves the mood. And that sentence matters, so hear it again in a deeper way. Your mood is not your leader. Your mission must be, because if you have no mission, then everything can distract you. Every pleasure can pull you off course. Every person can influence you. Every obstacle can become a reason to stop. Direction gives discipline a place to stand. So ask yourself with seriousness, what are you actually building? Do not answer with soft words. Do not say, I just want to do better. Better is too vague. Better does not pull you out of bed when the morning is cold. Better does not stop your hand from reaching for the easy distraction. Better does not give you enough force to endure a difficult season. You need a reason with weight, a reason that can bite through laziness, a reason that can face temptation and stay standing, a reason that makes your excuses sound weak even to your own ears. Without a strong reason, discipline feels like torture. With a strong reason, discipline becomes devotion. That is the shift. The outside world sees sacrifice. The disciplined mind sees protection. The outside world sees restriction. The disciplined mind sees freedom being built one hard choice at a time. Mastery looks boring to people addicted to novelty. They want a new trick, a new secret, a new system, a new burst of emotion, a new miracle method that changes life without demanding much from them. But the secret is usually ancient and simple. Do the necessary thing again and again with deeper attention. Wake up, practice, train, study, build, reflect, correct, repeat. That is the path. People dislike this truth because it removes fantasy. It offers no magic shortcut, no excuse-friendly route, no glamorous escape from pressure. But pressure is part of shaping. Fire does not ask metal if it feels comfortable. The hammer does not ask the blade if it feels ready. The process strikes, heats, bends, and sharpens. You want to become strong without being tested. That cannot happen. Every disciplined person has made a private agreement with discomfort. He no longer sees discomfort as a sign to stop. He sees it as a sign that the old version is being challenged. When the body says this is hard, he says good. When the mind says this is boring, he says stay. When temptation says just once, he says that is how chains begin. This is how a person becomes frightening in the best way. Not loud, not aggressive, not dramatic, just impossible to lure away from the path. When pleasure cannot easily buy you, you become powerful. When criticism cannot easily break you, you become powerful. When praise cannot easily distract you, you become powerful. When loneliness cannot easily weaken you, you become powerful. When discomfort cannot easily stop you, you become powerful. Listen to this twice if you need to, because this line matters. Freedom is often built by the very choices your weaker self keeps trying to avoid. Many people are cheap. Comfort buys them, attention buys them, approval buys them, entertainment buys them, praise buys them, lust buys them, convenience buys them. A little ease is enough to pull them off course. Do not live that way. Raise your price. Your future is worth more than temporary pleasure. Your peace is worth more than empty company. Your body is worth more than uncontrolled cravings. Your focus is worth more than endless scrolling. Your self-respect is worth more than fitting in with people who are proud of going nowhere. If that sounds hard, good. Soft lies create soft lives. You need a truth sharp enough to cut through self-deception, because your most dangerous enemy is not always outside you. Sometimes it is the part of you that can justify everything. It can justify sleeping late. It can justify skipping the work. It can justify one more delay, one more binge, one more excuse, one more lazy decision dressed up as self-kindness. Be careful. The lower self is clever. It knows your favorite language. It knows how to sound reasonable. It knows how to turn weakness into a story that feels acceptable. That is why rules matter. Clear rules, firm rules, non-negotiable rules. Not because you are a machine, but because you are human, and humans are experts at lying to themselves when desire becomes strong. Build your rules before temptation arrives, because when temptation is already in the room, it is too late to start making wise deals. The disciplined person decides in advance. He decides what time he wakes. He decides when he trains. He decides what he will not consume. He decides what work must be finished. He decides who gets access and who does not. He decides the kind of man or woman he will be before emotion tries to take the vote. That is maturity. Immaturity makes choices in the heat of desire. Maturity makes choices from the clarity of purpose. So build your life from clear moments, then honor those decisions when the clear feeling disappears. Some days you will not feel inspired. Continue. Some days progress will feel invisible. Continue. Some days people will mock your seriousness. Continue. Some days the old life will look attractive again. Continue. Some days you will be tired of being the only one in your circle trying to rise. Continue. Continuation is where average people disappear. Starting is easy. New beginnings feel exciting. New plans feel clean. New identities feel powerful for a few days. But the real test starts when the feeling fades and the work becomes ordinary. This is where many people return to their old self. Do not return. If you go back every time it gets boring, you will spend your whole life restarting and calling it progress. Some people are addicted to beginnings because beginnings give them emotion without requiring endurance. They love the first day, the fresh notebook, the clean promise, the first workout, the first post, the first announcement. But when the fire cools and repetition takes over, they vanish. Stop being loyal to beginnings. Become loyal to continuation. Continuation is not always dramatic. Sometimes discipline is simply washing the bowl, closing the app, taking the walk, reading the page, doing the repetition, preparing the meal, refusing the pointless argument, sleeping on time, rising again. Ordinary actions become extraordinary when repeated with devotion. That is how a life changes. Not through one loud breakthrough, but through many quiet wins that no one notices except the person becoming stronger. And here is something else people rarely say out loud. Discipline does not only build power, it builds peace. Because chaos is exhausting, disorder is expensive. Living against your own promise creates noise inside the heart. Every unfinished task, every delayed move, every broken promise, every careless habit adds another weight to the mind. Then people wonder why they feel heavy all the time. Of course they do. They are carrying the cost of their own avoidance. Discipline clears that fog. It may feel hard in the moment, but it creates a cleaner inner world. You sleep better when your effort was honest. You breathe better when your day had structure. You think more clearly when your actions are not fighting your values. There is peace in alignment. There is calm in obedience to what matters. There is dignity in knowing you did not abandon yourself today. That is why a disciplined life is not smaller. It is larger. It gives more strength, more clarity, more room to think, more room to love, more room to create, more room to serve, more room to build something lasting. Undisciplined people often think rules take freedom away. In truth, wise rules protect freedom. They protect your energy from waste. They protect your future from random impulses. They protect your attention from a world that profits when you stay distracted. And if the world keeps trying to soften you with endless comfort, endless entertainment, endless stimulation, then your answer must become stronger. Sharpen your boundaries, sharpen your schedule, sharpen your standards, sharpen your thinking. Let your life become clean enough that confusion can no longer live there for long. There will be moments when nobody understands why you are so focused. Keep going. There will be nights when the work feels endless and the reward feels far away. Keep going. There will be mornings when your old self tries to come back with familiar words. Just rest more. Just scroll a little. Just start tomorrow. Just skip once. Just be normal. Do not listen. The old self speaks in soft tones because it wants to keep its place. But every time you rise anyway, it loses a little more authority. Every time you act with discipline, your future gets a stronger voice. This is how transformation really happens, quietly, repeatedly, without drama, without needing permission, without needing the room to believe in you first. And one day the people around you will sense that something is different. Your presence will feel more solid. Your words will carry more weight because they are backed by action. Your eyes will look calmer because you are no longer at war with every little urge. Your energy will feel sharper because your life is no longer leaking force in 1,000 weak directions. This is the part that scares them. Not your anger, not your ambition, not your speech, your order, your steadiness, your refusal to break deals with yourself. A disciplined person becomes a mirror, and many people do not enjoy what they see when that mirror stands in front of them. But that is not your problem. Your task is not to make weakness comfortable. Your task is to become so aligned, so exact, so committed to what matters that your life itself becomes a message.